Joan, ready to
Yeah.
call the meeting to order? Okay, approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the May 16th minutes.
Okay,
I'll second that.
is there any discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approval of financial statements. Question, on page 3, Joan, on the Sundry Journal, there's like 4 entries for FCIA and withholding for like $3,000 each.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Those were, one was the current, they were the current payroll taxes. And then the other one was additional one from the 2 weeks prior.
Well,
When I was
there's
gone.
like 4 of them listed there.
Yep, there 2 are from the current payroll taxes that were owed for the payroll, for the bi-monthly or bi-weekly payroll. And the one was one that had been inadvertently been missed. And the other one I'll have to check on.
Okay. Do we have any other questions on that?
I'll move that we approve the financial statements.
Have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Or, Keith?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, now we got transfer of funds.
We have all of our project costs run through one checking account. And for the engineering costs, have paid them all out of the general fund because just for consistency when we're paying, and then to transfer them, we've been reimbursed through a different checking account that the state of North Dakota automatically pays into. It's all electronically receipted into. So just to even them out, this is the final transfer to get those reimbursement funds back into the general. So it'll be from what we call the water treatment upgrade account. It's the 1115 checking account. Those funds will go over to the general account to pay the engineering fees associated with the 2014-15 project.
So basically the 115 was just for that one account.
It is. We
this-
use it just for that.
And we basically spent the money out of the general account, we're just putting this money back into
Correct.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've been reimbursed for it through SRF funding.
Okay. So then account 1115 will go away, or we'll just have a 0?
No, it
balance?
stays because we have the next project and the next SRF funding.
Okay.
That account was established many years ago, and so when that first payment for SRF came in for the 2014 project, the state just automatically put it into that particular account, so we just chose to keep it there.
Okay, very good. Okay, we have a motion to transfer the fund.
I'll make that motion. Transfer funds.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on that? Keith?
Aye. Aye.
Come on.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and the next one is closing of funds.
Yep, and this is in accordance with the state property tax reform. We had previously discussed about keeping those funds separate, but in talks with auditor Mom and Goodhart and through some other discussions, we've decided we need to close out those funds, and those are part of that whole state process where the funds are closed out to the general account.
Well, you know, if I remember right, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought we decided to, you know, we'd basically be in the general fund, that we would keep track of them separately, so we knew, you know, what we were spending on these different things.
They'll still be tracked annually, but then every year you know, in our general fund, everything goes back to zero and we re-put the budget in, so we will be budgeting for these accounts annually. And they'll be tracked annually that way. But to keep them into the separate funds, there's been a lot of discussion through League of Cities and through the state. They want those funds, actual funds, they want those closed out and incorporated into the general fund. That was the kind of guidelines that the state had put out.
Mhm.
I mean, you know, obviously you can choose to do it however you guys would like. That is the recommendation of the auditor and myself as well. Slowly, as the taxes start coming in, you know, like right now, the taxes that are collected from the county, they're not separated out. They are lumped into the general fund.
Mhm. But I mean, as far as our budgeting, you know, that's, you know, like I said, you know, we didn't, you know, put any mills in for Social Security because we had such a large amount in there, you know, and by bundling everything together, we wouldn't know how much we had already in there.
Well, within the general fund, there will be accounts for these.
Okay, so basically that's what, I thought we were already doing that.
No, you guys had voted to keep the funds separate. And so now they will have separate accounts from within the general fund.
Okay. That's
And then
fine.
these actual funds will be closed out.
Okay. Yeah, as long as we keep track of them, that's the main thing. Anybody want to make a motion on that?
I'll move that we close the funds.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Steve?
Aye.
Good?
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
Aye.
okay. Gym floor coverings?
With the new floor that's coming in the Memorial Building in July, we've also discussed a way to protect the floors and to protect the investment of the floor. Sharon received a quote. It's $9,606.13, and that is for the floor protection.
I think on that, it'd be nice to get a couple different quotes. I know there's a couple things that I'm not sure if we really need. I don't know if we really need the power winder, you know, I mean, they're not very heavy, you can just crank it. The floor protection seam tape, you pretty much just overlap them, so you really don't need that type of thing, because you're not gonna make it permanent. Handheld tape dispenser, those type of things, we just probably wanna just go with the basic. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but,
Have you seen?
yeah, we've got
these
one at the
before?
school.
Oh, okay. They
We
work
just
really
have
well.
a handheld one.
They work well?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, yeah.
But I think it'd be nice to get a couple different quotes, just to get an idea of.
I don't think
Where we
we
stand.
don't have the official paper quote, but we did check. She had started with a different company, and wasn't it 20,000?
Yeah, on the internet, yes.
Yeah.
But we can look for
If we can
some
just,
more.
is that all right with everyone?
Yes, we'll table that. New room chairs, squeak, squeak.
It's just an item you guys had tabled and discussed before.
So how do we fix them? By buying new ones, or, I don't know, can you fix these? I don't know.
Mark has been in the process of trying to fix them. I mean, he's doing oils them and those, which we can continue to do. I don't know who had originally asked for it, but
I don't know if we can don't know. Like that. We just leave that up to Mark or what?
I think so.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on chairs.
Get some quotes.
Okay.
Joe Matthews of Rusty's Saloon regarding bringing in a food truck.
We contacted him this afternoon, he will not be here.
He will not be bringing a truck?
He'll not be at the meeting today.
Oh. Was this for like Riverboat days or?
No, it's just in general, bringing a truck into town to
Oh.
sell food.
Any site authorization, Riverboat Saloon? This is that one we missed
Yeah.
last time?
Yeah. There's one of the gaming sites that we had last month. It had the word revision across the top. Evidently it was not. It was in addition to more than revised. So we have a gaming site authorization to the American Legion for gaming in Riverboat Saloon from July 1st to June 30th of 2017. The one that we previously, or that you previously had approved was for just the continuation of an extra month from, I believe, June to July.
So something was added.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the gaming site for the Riverboat Saloon. Any further discussion on that? Keith? Good?
Thanks.
Excellent. Let's go Parks and Rec, water sewer charges.
Okay, come on up. Have a seat. It's Matt Gardner from the Parks and Recreation Department. Yeah.
Usually when I'm testifying, you have a podium, guys are in
We'll
suits and name
testify,
tags,
yeah.
so it's a little different. Well, thanks for having our request on your agenda today. But we can get to that if you guys have a couple minutes. I just give you an update about the interpretive center. That'd be okay?
Couple minutes.
A couple minutes, I'll keep it short. So, as most of you know, the interpretive center is now operated by North Dakota Parks and Recreation Department. That started last May. So now we're about our year anniversary. I think a little past that, I think things have been going well. And we have numerous events planned this summer. This Friday, our farmers market begins. That'll go through October. We have a Harmony Band in Harmony Park, or music in Harmony Park this summer sometime. So Kevin's over there, he'll be able to tell you the date. I think it's July 15th, right, Kevin? So we're looking forward. You know, it's been good. Sales are going well, which is good for this board too, because of sales tax collections. You know, that's what we like to see. So, but as part of the state coming in, you know, this is a state asset now, so we're very, you know, it's very important to us to protect it. We've been catching up on deferred maintenance. Now, one of those things is the sprinkler system for the lawn to water the grass. Now, what happened is when our normal water usage, you know, for public using the rest area or our staff or visitors, you know, there's a certain amount of water usage that we see that, you know, taxes the sewer system. But then when we run our sprinkler system during the summer, it highly increases the amount of water usage, which we also see that in our the sewer bill as well. So I'd like to just visit with the board here just to see, or the commission, just see if there's anything that we can do to make sure that that's even. So the amount of water that is actually going into the sewer system would, you know, we have no problem paying for that. We have no problem paying for that. That's taxing the system, but we just feel that the water that's being used to water the grass isn't necessarily taxing the sewer system of the city. Some information, I don't know if everybody got this or not, but so what we looked at is since 2014, so we have all of years 2014, 15, and some of 16, about our average is 31,000 gallons of water that we used, which we're also average per month, which we're also paying the sewer fee on. But back in September, so I mean, if you keep that in mind, 31,000. September of last year, we worked on the sprinkler system. In August, we used about 130 gallons of water. So
That's it.
130,000.
130,000, sorry. 130,000 gallons of water. So So, you know, it's a huge increase for us, 100,000 gallons, so our bills normally range about $50, $60 a month. That month was about $230. Now, with summer coming up, our system will be turned on and we'll be watering grass, we'll start seeing that, so hopefully we can come up with something. You know, I know there's a commercial sewer charge. I don't know if we could get exempt from the commercial rate. You know, so we pay like the base, you know, base of what normal people use, and I realize it's a commercial facility, so keeping that in mind, you know, is there something that we could come up with here?
Well, I know before somebody had asked that same question, and
Yeah.
we said no.
And I think with the churches, we worked with them a little bit.
Okay.
The churches you gave an exemption to
Okay.
for
Yeah.
just lawn water.
And I guess that other person had another option to
Yeah.
go to.
How about if I discuss it with them?
What's that?
How about if I discuss it with them and then I'll come back?
At the next meeting?
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that. You
Yeah.
know, really don't like making decisions, you know, without knowing any background
Yeah.
before.
That way we can kind of make an informed decision.
Yep.
I'll come out and talk to you guys and then that'll work out.
That's fine, if everybody else thinks that's good.
Yeah, because we want to pay our fair share.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not
absolutely.
more than our fair share.
But you know, I mean, it's not going down the sewer, we understand that.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll meet here in the next week or so.
Pass on my phone.
Sure.
number.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
You got things coming? Frank?
You're
You had a couple things, I think, right?
Yeah, I just following up there, finding the meeting on this, chipping the wood out of the disposal area in the back. I came up with some numbers of what we actually did. This wasn't charged to anybody because this was part of my bid to finish that site out there, so. But we did roughly 9 yards of chips directly into the trailer and then took them out to the sites and unloaded them. We're gonna need more chips this year for the forestry department to I know 2 sites that's gonna need more chips right now, plus any improvements. I guess what I'm suggesting here is if we do chip out of there, because it's a reduction in cost and disposal from the dumpsters, if you split the cost with, if the city would split the cost with the forestry in some way, that would be kind of a win-win situation. Normally, we just wait for somebody to dump a pile, and if it lays there a while, it'll rot. And that bad experience with dirt in it, once it start turning it, trying to prevent the rot. This really worked out well, you know, as far as quality of the laying down.
Did you discuss this with the forestry board?
Not with the board, I did talk it over with Tom Mary, and there's other options. We could truck in chips from Bismarck. I think they charge like $26 a ton, but then you gotta truck it in. Then you got a pile to maintain. Like I was saying, that's, if we reduce the cost of your disposal back there for the dumpsters, and have the chips for the site, it really is, you know, the best stuff. Like I don't know if you got my little write-up here, anybody?
Yeah, it's in here.
Yeah. Like I'm suggesting, this isn't a permanent disposal solution. If you want to use a chipper cost effectively, the chipper of my size probably isn't gonna get it all done the way you want.
Right.
But I did talk to one of the contractors here, and I asked him, well, if you come in here and give him a bid, put this whole mess up over the cost, you know. That'd be an option to look at. You know, have somebody, a tree company that has a larger chippers, you can run a log right in like a toothpick. And that'd probably be, if you wanna go with the chipping option,
Right.
that'd be the more permanent.
Yeah.
But,
I guess what I'm thinking is, you know, as far as, you know, splitting with the, you know, forestry board and stuff, I mean, they're the ones that should come and ask us to do that, you know, because you work for them, you know, basically. They're
yeah,
hiring.
yeah,
you
I'm
know.
just throwing it out here.
Right, I understand, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, you know.
Right.
You know, in order, before we make a decision, they should actually come to us, because I mean, I don't know what kind of money they have to spend or how much they've spent, and, you know, it's, because they kind of get their own monies and, you know.
Normally,
that would be the-
they've been spending some money, you know, if it's dumped in a pile, I get down there with my loader, we gotta load it up in wagons and
Right.
take it out to the sites and unload it.
Mhm.
And I think that, you know, for the amount we chipped up, there was 3 good wagons full,
Mhm.
big box size. And it would probably cost that much, or at least half of that to get that moved. But I see your point that
Yeah.
this is internally,
Right,
needs to be resolved.
Right. yeah. I'm not saying I'm opposed, I'm just saying they should come and put a request, you know, so, yeah.
And your other option is just buy my chipper. I already offered.
What you
that.
just said is too small.
Huh?
You just said it's too small.
It's just fine for you.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Anybody? I mean,
Yeah, I think it probably wouldn't be a bad deal, but I think we need to have the forestry board recommend it.
mhm. Everybody agree with that? Or?
One other issue on this arrangement, I know last year we kind of split the costs on the maintenance down at the sign down there on the south side. It's really hard to cut out. I got some machines I can get in there and clean it out.
Once again, that's probably
Again, this is
something-
gonna have to go through the forestry. It's
Right.
not on the agenda, but I'd like to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, once again, they're, you know, they've hired you, and then, so they should be coming to us, so, yeah.
And I will say, everything looks fantastic.
It does, looks really good, absolutely.
That's the guy working for me. He works harder than I do. His name is Tom Stevens, he's my brother-in-law.
Okay.
Can't hire anybody else, because he's,
Mhm.
it really does look good.
Yeah.
He
Does
does
look
good
good,
work.
yeah, absolutely. Then you have another,
Oh, I wanted to bring up,
just so everybody knows, it's the, regarding road repair on the street, down, what is it?
By the softball diamond?
Yeah, by the water treatment plant softball diamond.
yeah, I think the last time that was ever, well, I think it was installed when I moved here in 1879. And I think that's the year that that road was put in, and I think it was the coal impact one. Because the water treatment building got picked up then. And, I don't know, it is access to the rest of First Avenue. The most of it is, the frontage part of it is either railroad property or park property or something, but, it's getting really annoying. There's like 16 cracks you go over every time.
I know.
And a big sinkhole, and I just wondered if we could consider someday upgrading that a little bit, get some maintenance plans on that.
Yeah,
Either some cold patch and compact down, or, I know that's,
I wonder if,
I don't think the base on it is good.
Well, at least filling in the ruts, you know, I mean,
The little things going across, yeah. They're getting kind of deep.
thoughts, Brian? I think we could just put some asphalt when they're in town, just to fill up the ruts, you know, across there, and, I mean, at least we get by for maybe a year or two, but,
Yeah, there's a big
We'll
hole.
almost have to cut them out, I think, but try that first.
I don't know,
Yeah, they just keep settling.
you know. I know, yeah, they just keep getting worse and worse.
Right after they put that in, there were water trucks coming and going up. I think that's what that.
Well, yeah,
did.
exactly. Yeah, the best thing was getting those water trucks out of there.
It's been a long time.
Yes, it has.
I've been driving over those.
Yeah,
And, there's like a dirt trail that goes along the railroad tracks from the corner of the ball diamond to, the east end of First Avenue, where it stops there. And that's getting kind of ruddy. I'd like, I know a lot of people, I see you call it something here on the assessment map. It's called Lewis and Clark Trail.
no. That's, Lewis and Clark Trail goes toward Hawkins.
No, on this here, it says that. See that?
Well, you know, I don't know why it says that there, because it's not. That's what the engineers put in there, obviously.
Well-
It's not Lewis and Clark Trail. All that is somebody didn't want to drive the road, so they got through there many years ago, and it's been
Just
that
a
way ever
path,
since.
it's more, it's a path, not a
I think
public
that
road.
this more than likely was the original trail before Berger developed this part of First Avenue here.
Maybe.
You know, that's what I think it is.
Well, I think that's on railroad right away, so
It's on railroad property.
yeah, so it
Not on
wouldn't
the right
be,
of way, yeah.
you know.
But my point is, way back when Raiders lived down there, was a lot of suit when Hawkins was building their water treatment building. And we were promised access down Third Street.
Mhm.
And I think the walking path is taking that up now.
Oh, no, it's still there.
We can drive down there?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I haven't been down there recently, but
Have you been down there recently? Is it drivable?
it is? Okay, okay. Well, then my point is mute. Because this here Lewis and Clark Trail is not gonna ever be abandoned, I don't care what you do. It'd be nice to get some gravel on it and
Well,
have it bladed.
Once again, it's on railroad property,
It
so we
is.
really can't,
It is.
you know,
It is.
so. And as far as, you know, we don't even want to touch it because then, yeah. But I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
you know. It's not supposed to be there, but,
It is.
yeah, it's not a city street, so. But we'll see if we can do some patching, you know, on those cracks first. We'll just have to try and figure something out.
Wait till we get some hot mix, I think.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, hot mix, yeah, I wouldn't put cold mix in there, no. But two we can do with that, Bob.
Yeah, when you're peeling, is the hot better?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta hire help, you gotta have to patch it in for free.
Okay, we'll move on. Ty Sheldon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Requesting to purchase Lot 5, Block 8, Heritage Estates Pioneer Edition.
Ty Sheldon has requested to buy the lot, that is a city-owned lot. Yes, you all have maps. Parcel number 80364. So, depending upon what you would like to sell the lot, it does not have water sewer that go directly to it, but it is the first lot at the end of the line of the water and the sewer.
So basically, the pavement is not in front of it either, is that correct?
No.
we wanna buy the lot. We wanna buy lot 4 from the private owner now, and then purchase the second lot from the city. The issue is the lot 4 is our builder basically telling us we won't have any yard left once we build the house we want on it.
So you basically wanna have 2 lots and then like you
And
gotta build
then
on
parcel
both?
them into one,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool, man.
For you guys though, depending upon the price that you set for the lot, if it's over the threshold, then you would need to have a bid auction. So, or you can list it, you can set a price and list it with the realtor,
What is the threshold?
2,500.
What are they selling them lots up there for now?
About 15, but they have direct access to water and sewer.
Right.
And that's from the private individual that owns those lots. If you choose to do the bid auction, that is something that David Lindell would handle for us. It'll be publicized in the paper and then with the date set.
Right.
With the realtor situation, I guess the benefit to that would be is maybe if you would want to try to sell some of the other lots in that area as well, you could set one price for the rest of the city that is calling and go that route. Try to get even more building up in that area.
I thought there was already set price in the lots.
Those are for lots that the city does not own.
They have pavement, water and sewer.
I thought we inherited them.
We sold them back.
We sold them, yeah.
Someone else bought them.
All. You get paid?
Yes.
Believe it or not, yeah.
And they're selling them for what, 15,000?
Yeah, I think 49 or
And that's with
14.
water, sewer, and the whole works?
Yeah.
Correct. And the paper.
Does that cover the specials on those then, or is there still specials on those lots up there? For the actual water and sewer and paving up there?
There may still be some specials on them.
There'll still be for that? Okay, I wasn't sure. Thoughts, anyone?
I don't think it's a bad idea, you know, just how we want to go about it.
Right.
Obviously, it's nice to get them on the tax roll.
And it would be nice, I suppose you'd like to get building some one of these days too, I suppose, huh?
What's that?
You'd like to get building one of these days too.
I don't know. Or not.
See.
I'm not really sure. I mean, everything's got to kind of fall in place. I just wanted to bring it up and see if, first of all, see if it's even an option. And, you know, really, I mean, if it's not going to work out, or, you know, if it does go to a bid and somebody, I'm sure it's a sealed bid, if somebody outbids me, you know, and then, and yeah, I mean, it's just kind of what it is. If we don't get it, we're not going to build a town because the lots are too small up there.
Right.
And when those,
Kind
you
of
know,
spendy for the lots around
I
the
agree.
area.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Selling in Underwood for $1.
I mean, I would like to see it
Yeah.
sold myself. So if you could get it for 25, you would build?
yeah.
One thing is that our contractor would be buying it. So just so you, yeah, so it would be, I mean, we wouldn't technically be putting in the bid, but
So if it's 25,000 or over, then we're
100.
for 2,500, then we do bid. Okay.
Thoughts?
I guess my other theory on that too is if, I mean, say if we did buy that other one and we don't get this one, I'm still probably gonna take care of it anyways, you know? I mean, I don't know if that's, I'd probably mow it anyways, just to, but it is, like you said, there isn't a road there, so, it's
the
kind of.
curb appeal isn't very
Yeah.
pretty.
You know, and the thing is, there's no pavement in front of it or anything, so I mean, it's, I really don't have a problem selling it. Dwayne, would you?
Same thing.
Well,
Like that.
I would make a motion to sell you that lot for 25. $2,500.
I will second that.
Is there any further discussion on that?
We gotta go less than 2,500, or is it 2,500 and up, and we gotta bid it? So, like 24.99?
Let's do
I
24.99.
will amend my motion to $24.99.
Good point.
You gonna resecond that?
I'll resecond that.
Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Simple. Yeah.
Can we, move up Susie and Parker?
I suppose.
Just because, so he can go play?
Yes, great team.
That's okay with
How many
everybody?
fireworks?
Yeah, I come every year, we sell fireworks up at the Krause's, and we don't come to get, we don't technically need permission from the city, we get it from the county, we get a permit, but just out of, to be courteous, we just let you guys know we're gonna sell them again from Emery Fireworks, our sale dates are the same. I mean, you guys have the ordinance, we sell from the 27th through the 5th, but they can only light through the 4th, or 2 AM on the 5th, really.
So nothing has changed?
Nothing has changed.
Okay.
So they just like us to come and just for a little courtesy visit and let you know that we're gonna be doing that once again. And if there's any issues or same spot, same company,
And I think we still vote.
We will.
yeah. So,
I'll make a motion to approve the Suzie tickets to sell from Emery Fireworks. That's-
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Dwayne?
Aye.
Aye. Ronnie Passaic, variance. Basically, that went to planning and zoning. Wants to change a residential lot to commercial lot, and then he wants to sell it so we can put up a insurance business. And they recommended approval, or planning and zoning recommended approval.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve, since planning and zoning approved it,
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve this request.
okay. Do we have a second?
Second that.
Is there any discussion, questions?
Was there anyone that was opposed to it that came to the meeting?
There were.
Oh, there were.
There was a few people that, not really sure their concerns really. They were,
more concerned of the buffer zone between the apartments and the
Yeah.
bar part.
but really this was like an 8 to 5 business.
Yeah.
You know, you know. And I think once they found out what it was, that kind of helped too.
It helps
out
out.
there, so.
I know they like it more for a ball diamond in the play.
You got 2 other lots, bro.
I understand.
Any other questions or discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Setback variance for Reese Bean, Bone?
Bang.
Bane. Okay. It also went for planning and zoning, but Reese can tell us what you have in mind here real quick.
It's just a 13-foot variance off of the 25-foot regulation, so down to 12 foot, or 12 feet. So the garage build will match up with the house currently, and then I'll be able to use the existing parking pad as it sits, or most of it. So it's not a cement parking pad, it's just a gravel fill.
So it won't be any further forward towards the street than your house?
No.
Oh, no.
This is over on 4th Avenue.
Yeah, yeah.
Across from Tryon onto there.
It actually puts it in line.
Right in line.
And planning and zoning, you know, recommended to pass on this. Would we have a motion?
Motion that we approve the variance for Reese.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any further discussion or questions? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's do the special liquor license request for Max Place. Assuming that's for Lewis and Clark Days,
Correct.
or for Riverboat Days, I guess. Same as last year, I'm assuming.
It is. And he's paid the permit fee and filled it out accordingly.
Can we do both these in one motion?
No, because they're two separate places.
I make a motion to approve Max, special liquor license request for on Lewis and Park Days,
Okay.
or Riverboat Days.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, any further discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
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 Okay, now, same request for Captain's Cabin? Basically same as last year, Randy?
Yep. I move that we accept the special liquor license request, Captain's Cabin.
Okay,
Second.
any further discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay. We have a letter from Hank Helm, basically on the go-kart track. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to read that. Basically says he's opposed to it. And with that, we have Don and Sue Winter. It says it's kind of with the same thing.
Do you want me to read the letter?
Oh, we can if you want.
It's from Hank Helm, of 15 Washburn Lane, to address to the Washburn City Commission and Larry Thomas, President, Larry and others. This letter is in response to the request of Mr. Shresky, Mr. Matthews, for the purpose of opening a go-kart track in an area extremely close to a residential neighborhood. I want to go on the record stating my opposition to this proposed plan. I am shocked and appalled that these two men in the City Commission and Planning and Zoning Board would even consider this. As a longtime homeowner, taxpayer in this neighborhood for over 30 years, I am directly affected as my property would be adjacent to this proposed tract, separated only by the unmaintained alley. When I purchased my property, I was aware that the east half of the block was zoned commercial. And I was aware of this and its problems, and I accepted that. For the last 30 years, we endured a flow of vehicles and patrons in and out of the hotel, and several parties, gatherings after the hunt or weddings or reunions, unleashed dogs, hunting, parentheses hunting, and garbage that ensued blowing around the neighborhood. Tractor trailer, motors running all night long, machinery being assembled, car washing, vacuums, etc., etc. This is not necessarily the business owner's fault, but the patrons using the businesses. I accepted this as part of the location and zoning, but a total, quote, outside venue, 3 to 4 nights a week or more for several hours is not acceptable. Not to mention the racetrack patrons, a lot of which will be out of town, who don't care about the neighbors, or for that matter, the city of Washburn. If this proposed tract is allowed, as a music enthusiast and musician, I see no reason why the bars in town can't have outdoor music several times per week. Obviously, this is not an option or a request, just something to consider when making a decision. I understand the attraction of new businesses and the forms of entertainment for our area, but not at this proposed location bordering a residential neighborhood. Again, I oppose the request. I asked all of you to carefully consider all of the facts and the opinions of the tax-paying homeowners when reaching a decision. I am unable to attend the commission meeting June 13th, but I will be present for future meetings for this discussion. Respectfully submitted, Henry Hank Helm.
Just for clarity, it's not an alley back there, it's just an easement. There is no deeded alley back there, it's just an easement. So. Doesn't mean anything. Okay, Don and Sue.
We'd like to thank the board for taking the time tonight to just meet with us and listen to our concerns. Long tape there. We typed up a short list of our concerns, just with what is going on. We understand that the property and the project currently is just in the informational stage, I believe, because nothing has been put forward to the Planning and Zoning Committee on it. I have a study here also on noise pollution that a sympathetic local realtor sent to me. It is from, I only have 3, sorry guys. It is only from Memphis, the trains, it's a study on trains there, but the information on it was very good. So I just like to, read our concerns to the commission, and maybe cover a little of the details of why we are concerned. As pursuant to the go-kart track going in on the property in our back, adjacent to our backyard, the Daryl Sharesky property. Our first concern is a nuisance noise level that will occur from the operation of the facilities. Mr. Bill Matthews, who is the business partner of Mr. Sharesky, made a statement at the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting last Monday that the go-karts would sound like the lawnmower engines. 5 at a time will be going. If I went on Google and I just Googled it up, a lot of information came up on the decibels put out by gas-powered lawnmowers, and I'd like the council to remember that these are working lawnmowers, whereas the go-kart engines will be tuned for performance, so they'll probably be several decibels higher than what these register at. According to Megan Reed, who is an audiologist at the Massachusetts Eye and Ear Infirmary, this comes off of Google, gas-powered lawnmowers can be anywhere from 90 decibels to 106 decibels. Those levels are where we start being concerned about damage to your ears from the noise. Even 85 decibels can do damage with prolonged exposure. The track is approximately 30 feet from our backyard. Our children play out there a lot, so we are concerned about the noise and the nuisance noise. The city does have an ordinance on nuisance noise. It's number City Ordinance 120. We are concerned about property devaluation from the noise level. If you look at the handouts that I passed out, Silence is Golden, which was a study from Niagara University, 2016, done in Memphis. In the introduction, they stated that location within a 65 decibel contour, so anything that registers at 65 decibels, I'll just read the abstract. A unique data set containing property values and manuals collected. The results show a residential property exposed to 65 decibels or greater of railroad noise origin results in a 14 to 18% lower property value. So that's at 65 decibels. These engines will be running at around 100 decibels continuously for hours. So it's going to have a significant impact on the property values in our area.
You really compare this to a railroad though?
Yes, because decibels are an energy measurement.
But a railroad track, the train is coming through every day.
Right.
Sometimes twice a day.
This will be up to 8 hours of continuous.
Every day? I don't know what their deal is, I guess. 5 days a week? 6
3
days
to 4 days a week. They don't have a plan as of yet that we know of what the full length of operation.
But you don't actually know what the decibels are right now.
We don't know, just this is an approximation of what we could find with the science online. We are concerned with our family safety with the potential for increased foot and vehicle traffic with and in the neighborhood. Our children go out and ride bikes on the street a lot. A lot of our neighborhood children are out on the street a lot. You don't start a new business venture and hope it does not succeed. So I'm sure that Mr. Matthews and Mr. Sharesky are hoping for a significant increase in traffic to the area, which will be foot traffic, vehicle traffic,
Exhaust levels also go
levels.
to the safety of our backyard.
So hopefully everyone had a chance to read the story that was in the Leader News last week's issue. And our concerns, one of our major concerns was, we came home from vacation, we looked out the back door, and here's this asphalt pad. We had no communication at all as to what was going on. We are really frustrated and really worried that due process was denied to our neighborhood, and we don't feel that it should be denied to our neighborhood. We feel that the project needs to go through the zoning process, which includes application for a conditional use permit, a public hearing, a vote upon the issue by the Planning and Zoning Committee, an appeals process for the decision either way. That said, we feel that pursuant to the Washburn Planning Zoning Ordinance Guide 117A, the most recent guide that we could get our hands on, the property would not meet the requirements for a conditional use permit. Mr. Matthews on one day at the zoning committee, when asked what they were going to do for restroom facilities, stated that they were going to use spiffy diffs. According to provision 117.3.7 of the Washburn Planning and Zoning Ordinance, all new developments need to be hooked up to city water and city sewer for safety. And then we also feel that the project would be disallowed due to provision 117-11 or .11.2, which section 6, which are the standards for conditional use. And if I can just read it to you guys all. No application for conditional use shall be approved unless the city commission finds that all of the following conditions are present. A, that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of conditional use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. Provision B, that the usage, values, and enjoyment of our property in the area for purposes already permitted shall be in no foreseeable manner substantially impaired or diminished by the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use. That the establishment of the conditional use will not impede the orderly development and improvement of the surrounding property. So I think those are pretty substantial.
And part of the reason why we came to the commission before anything went further is because we felt that they already put in an asphalt pad, that their permit was not gotten for that. They already put on the track and the go-karts according to what we found out at the zoning meeting. So we wanted to just make sure that due process is really followed, that a permit is applied for, and that we have the opportunity to make our wishes known with that too. And we wanted to make the city commission aware of what was going on and potentially proposed for that development.
They didn't need a permit for that pad. You know, you need a permit for a driveway, because that goes on city property.
We are not arguing.
I'm just saying, I'm just pointing that out, you know,
Yes.
they didn't need a permit.
But we would not have argued the pad,
Right.
although the argument could be made that the pad would not be placed because it was conditional on granting approval for the business to be done. It was conditional on the go-kart track being built. But we would not argue the asphalt pad. They have a right to put asphalt on their property if they choose, so we would not argue that. We have not heard from Mr. Matthews. He had said on the last Monday's meeting for planning and zoning that he would meet with the neighbors in regards to what was discussed. We have not heard from him on that. And then we'd like to say that what we have discussed here tonight, this is our family's concerns. We do not and cannot speak for our neighbors, although many of them are behind us tonight and they do have concerns of their own. But as the Winter family, we would really like assurance from the council that this project will not be implemented until due process is given. That until it goes through zoning and we have a public hearing, we really don't want to look out on Riverboat Days and see go-karts going. So we would like some assurance.
And in our backyard, that we're talking about in that area, not necessarily at the riverboat.
Well, I personally think that it should go through the process. It should go through planning and zoning, it should go, through the concern process, and also, so it should go through, city commission, because this doesn't just affect one or two people, it affects the community, so. I mean, I would love to have go-karts, but.
If I may, I was at planning and zoning, of course, And, I mean, when I read the permitted uses, I mean, it basically says amusement places.
Well, can you read the whole statement?
Yes,
though?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And it says amusement places, including bowling alleys, athletic clubs, pool halls, and similar indoor facilities. But what does including mean? Including means to treat as part of a whole. So it's these will be treated in amusement, also are added into amusement.
I think this is where common
And
sense
that's
comes
where,
in, just
I
because
think
if
it
someone
fits.
buys a house, they're not going to expect motors to be running 24 hours a day. So
Oh, no,
I think that we have to use common sense, and we're seeing that they need to have a voice.
Right.
And when you say amusement places including, if it was including but not limited to, then I would say maybe you could say that, but all of those on that list include inside activities for the zoning for commercial property, and that's why we're saying a conditional use permit should be applied for in this situation.
And the section of the statute specifically says indoor places. If it wished to include
No, it
outdoor
actually
places.
doesn't. It actually doesn't.
Yes, it does if you read it again.
You know, not the way I read it. It doesn't.
Is that the same way you read open record law, Larry?
No. Really?
Let's just stick on the subject, we don't have to go that way.
Well, it shouldn't, but it shouldn't be hard to, if the word indoors in there or not. What does it say?
Let's read that.
It says amusement places including bowling alleys, athletic clubs, pool halls, and similar indoor facilities. And basically, the word including means to have or regard or treat as part of a whole.
So,
You know, the thing is, I mean, I respect the homeowners' rights. I also respect the business rights, you know, business owners' rights. You know, basically, if you buy next to a commercial area, you have to expect there's gonna be commercial businesses there, you know.
Well, that would be true if it was already there.
And, you know, not only that, you know, Mr. Matthews is here. You know, is there a reason we haven't contacted the homeowners yet? You know,
If I may say something, Larry, first of all, just to alleviate a little fears on Lucy Clark days, we're gonna be on Main Street, Washburn, so we're not gonna run at our place, so that fear, you guys can take part on Main Street, we're a lot of noise down there. And maybe that'd be,
Speak up, just put it
maybe that'd be a good test, just to see what you think of it. We're not gonna run on our property until we get, your guys' blessing here, and then we need to know what rules we need to follow. But seriously, they'll be on Main Street for Lucy Clark days, so I'll take a look at them. With that being said, I will say one thing, you know, I've tried to jump through a few hoops with the city before on rezoning properties, and the advice I got loud and clear was, if you want commercial property, go buy it. And we bought it, I bought it, and so now here I am. But again, with that being said, we still want to jump through the correct hoops. If the city deems that this is too much, then we want to know what parameters we need to follow.
Sure.
And take, you speak about, you know, future use. I'm going to just bring this up because I think it's somewhat pertinent. I was trying to have property rezoned, and forward-thinking people on the commission were looking out ahead 20 years in fear of what would become of that property down the road. And sometimes you can't do that. You know, when that was an indoor racquetball court, you can't think 25 years, for 40 years ahead that it's going to be a golf cart track. It's impractical to think that far ahead. So you're always dealing with this as properties mature and as things go on. So like I said, we're hoping to, if there's an opportunity to make this work, great. If it doesn't meet the standards that the city asked for, then we want to know that, I guess. We want to follow your recommendations.
Is the number one concern with the residents probably the noise, right?
I believe so.
And is that a situation that can kind of be mitigated a little bit?
Yes, we can. Nothing has been brought up here about the fence that we offered to put up, acoustical fence. I appreciate Mr. Winters digging into the internet and on all these decibels and on a train, and that these go-karts are hopped up. They're actually detuned to go slower than a lawnmower motor will ever turn over, because you have to. we have to go 17 miles an hour at the top speed. We don't wind out near as hard as a lot more. I appreciate their information, but it's completely wrong. Nothing has ever been brought up about the fence that we offered to put up. Acoustical fence, I wish they would dig into that on the internet and see what decibels could be brought down, because they can. Absolutely. We've been in contact with Super Trap in California, which in California they have to run silencers plus spark arresters in the whole state of California. When we go there racing, we knew we had to have them on. We'll put them on every one of our carts. We're gonna do everything we can. It's not an everyday ordeal. We were thinking Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, part of Sunday, never start before noon, never go after 8, is what we were looking at. The other times what we'd like to do with that pad is RC cars, where you have the electric carts going. You know, the little cars, things of this nature, possibly do some rock crawling on that deal. Don, I appreciate all the information you dug up, and most of it is in, I hope you're right, that there is traffic over on your road, that our business is successful. You tell me when that day happens, where the parking up in front of our place and the frontage road is full. At that point, we'll be able to buy land somewhere else to do it. But at that point, we would never put anyone's family, Don's or anyone else down that road. We care as much about their kids or their land as much as they do, and to make Washburn look good. We're trying to bring a business, something fun for the kids, create jobs. We'd like to have 4 more kids right now as part-time, just to help us. We've hired 4 people already. We would like to be able to do this, and we're not even open yet. So,
I think the big misconception that they're getting here is with your go-karts, and what they're thinking are them racing ones that are out of the dirt and doing all these road courses where they, you know, they run methane gas and
we have them that run alcohol. They'll never run. These aren't the rental ones.
So
Ones we own, nobody owns.
Will this, for Riverboat Days, will you guys already have the silencers on and those type of things? Will they be pretty much the way they are?
We can if you want them.
So then that way we can see.
For
here
state
the-
law, you don't have to have them.
But I'm just saying that way we get an idea of how loud they are.
We can, we'd love to keep on investing. If we're gonna do that, we're gonna need some insurance that the fence, I can have Dakota Fence have it up in 3 days.
No, I'm talking about when you're doing
Oh,
Riverboat Days.
exactly. We would rather not, we're going out to Falkirk, we just got the PO number for that. They're not requiring anything else besides, they're not that noisy. I'd like these people to actually see what's going on.
have you offered, and I think all you homeowners up there,
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm a block away. I mean, I'm the wrong person to be asking about this because
Absolutely.
I race and I'm for that stuff, but I think you should, all you guys that are live behind there, I think you should actually go over there tonight and just start one up with what you have right now and really listen to that noise level. Your lawnmower, I can just about guarantee is gonna be louder than that go-kart is gonna be.
But I will say this though, is we want to make sure that we do this the correct way, just because we don't want these people to have this feeling.
Absolutely, I don't either. The reason why I didn't go see these people, I'm sure everybody's seen, and I appreciate getting offered to come to the meeting and let us know that this was going on. We weren't invited. We heard about it, but I appreciate letting us be in here to voice our opinion. After reading, I was in Minneapolis grabbing some golf carts. Our golf cart business went crazy. I was up there and I had the paper emailed to me. And I don't get into the 3rd grade baloney of saying names and sleazy and all this stuff. I've outgrown it. I'm not gonna really go face to face with anyone that thinks that we're trying to be sleazy to them. We don't need to. Don, we didn't check and see if you were going on vacation. We didn't do it just because you went on vacation, okay? It'd be flattering if we did, but we had to get it done, so.
I don't believe I recall too sleazy though.
There was words in there that wasn't.
I believe if you look at the paper, it was Jen Lincoln who was quoted, and she said sneaky.
Okay, at the meeting, what was it?
That's sleazy.
I also said, I agreed with Jen that it seems sneaky, but I never called you sneaky and I never called you sleazy.
If we can get some parameters from the city
Yeah.
on on whatever concerns, if they're noise, if they're otherwise, we'd like to have that help.
But I think what we need to do is, like Keith said, you know, we need to see these things, you know, and so it's sort of the neighbors, I mean, you know.
Absolutely.
Because that's what we had talked about at planning and zoning, you know, we were gonna get everybody together and then they could hear them and then go from there. I mean, because it,
I really think you need to communicate with, like you say, the neighbors.
Yeah.
And they need to be comfortable with this, you know, because like I said, we don't want them having these houses that they may have just bought or had for a while, having this feeling for 4 days a week and being upset. We want this to be a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely, and it can be. The way we would put up a fence, their property would be worth more than what it is now, looking at the highway and commercial property there.
excuse me a minute, Ray, you had your hand up?
Yes, and all due respect to these two gentlemen, but I was under the impression, and from what I read in the paper, that a building permit was needed before this process should have started. Is that correct?
No,
No?
no.
Who okayed this then? For them to do this, and now here we are.
Basically what happened was I had talked to them and they asked if they needed a building permit to put down asphalt. And I said, no, I don't believe you do, but you should check with the city. And what, the paper was coming in or something and it was what, Memorial Day or? I think you were closed the day after Memorial Day, wasn't it, or?
We were, when Mr. Matthews came in, Sharon was here.
Oh, were you? Oh.
Yeah, I went in twice for one to see if we actually needed one.
Oh.
But I guess I'm just a little bit confused. Why wouldn't you have talked to the neighbors before you scheduled the paving company to come in?
We had 3 days to get this done, or they're out of town up in Newtown for the rest of the summer. The people that were gonna do it for us said, this is our time to do it, can you do it? I went up to try to get a permit, they were here ready to do it, heading to Newtown. I got a hold of Larry, asked what do we have to do here to get this done, okay? And that's what we did, I went, young lady there must have been in the back, I did talk to that young lady.
I haven't talked to you, Bill.
No, I said, you must have been in the back, exactly.
I wasn't in the building.
I don't know then. But I talked to that young lady there, asked her, do we need a permit? Larry thought he didn't have to, but I'm here to see if we do. Nothing was taken care of at that point. She was getting poured. It had to be done.
You advised me that Larry told you that you did not need
He
a
did
permit.
not think we needed to have one, exactly.
You told me that Larry said you did not need one. And that's why I said, okay then, and I will inform when Joan comes back in the office.
Yeah, see, basically, it's not a driveway, it's not on city property, so they really don't need it. You need a building permit for a structure.
Right.
And you need a building permit for a driveway because it goes on city property. And you want to make sure everything is done correctly.
So when they start their structure, they're gonna
They're
need
not
a
putting up a
building
structure.
permit?
They're not putting up a
Building
structure.
What?
They're not putting one up.
They'll need one.
I thought they were gonna put up a wall.
A
What are they
fence.
gonna do?
Well, yeah, for a wall, they would probably need a building permit for that, yes.
I think lots
And the
of times
paper said they're gonna use porta potties? I think that's against the law for a permanent business to try and get by with
It's a
porta
summer
potties.
business.
What?
It's a summer business.
That's not a business?
It's a summer business, like a ballpark, you know.
Seasonal.
Seasonal.
That's a public, ballpark is a public, well, I'll tell you,
Well, I'm just
gentlemen,
saying. We can check into that.
number one, I think you're circumventing the building process. And so what do you do when the next guy decides to go do something?
Like what?
Well, like the guy that built the house 20 feet or 10 feet from the road, and then he just got his hands slapped and he moved out of town. These people build this, and I can remember when it was sold, it was said that it would only be used for working on machinery and so on, but then it was sold again. So I think you got a big problem approving this, and it has nothing to do with these two gentlemen.
Well, first of all, you know, what other commissions have, you know, decided on, like that guy that built too close to the street. I mean, I was working for the city at the time and I recommended that they don't approve that, but they did it anyway, if you remember that.
I understand, but I think,
So, I mean, I don't know where you're going.
you were out of order telling those people, they did not need a building
I
permit.
told them I didn't think they did, Rick.
Oh, you didn't think they did. I still think that was out of order.
No, I said, I don't think you do, go check with the city to make sure,
Well, if
Well,
you know.
the next guy that comes to town sure as heck won't need a building permit. He can just stick up whatever he wants to because you've already
It's
set
not a
precedent.
building, Ray, it's not a
Twice.
building. They didn't put up a building.
I'm talking about the next guy that wants to do something.
Okay, thank you for your thoughts.
Some of the conditions that we request, we have been trying to be very steady about the building permits for the taxation purposes of the property. Ryan Oberg, the city assessor, had asked of us last year to be more consistent on the building permits, even if there's not a fee attached to it, so that when it comes time for him to do his job, we send the building permits to him every year, and then he can go and assess the property, he can see the improvements that are to the property. So that is why I had called you and suggested that, yes, they did need the building permit, and then, you know, if we would have had that permit, a lot of this could have been alleviated, because we would have had that information as to what was going to be going on to the property, and then we could have guided you guys appropriately as well. And Daryl, you come in all the time for whatever you need, and we try to help you guys as much as we can. So, yeah, I guess I would suggest right now that maybe you guys would move forward with filling out the paperwork for that conditional use permit and start following some of the steps that are lined out in the planning and zoning ordinance, along with everything else that is suggested.
Is a building permit really not required for that size of an asphalt slab?
Not as you're inside your property line, no.
Is a permit required for, say, like a 12 by 14 patio? If you want to pour one of those in your backyard?
Nope. Well,
We do get building permits on all of those.
they don't cost anything. But
They don't
basically
cost
they do
anything,
that
no, but we
because
have building permits on them.
we go and check to see if, make sure that they're,
Okay,
you
'cause
know,
I've
not
seen-
going on somebody else's.
Yeah, I've seen permits for everything down to, say, repairing a section of sidewalk, you know,
Yeah.
up to somebody's house. So I was just confused on
Dog
what.
kennels,
Yeah. Bird aviaries.
bird aviaries.
Well, I tell you what, we went in twice to try to do this. Tried. Whether we're getting the right information or not, this is where we were wanting to get guided to, if we needed one, whether it be for taxation or not. But it sounds like that we did not do anything, and the words say it at the last meeting and in the paper. Well, we are by trying to do the right thing. Now, we will follow whatever we have to do and make things right, but, yes.
I guess I don't have anything to say, I don't live up there or anything, but did you not already have the asphalt down before you came in to see if you needed a building permit?
Nope. Did not, they were working on it that day.
They were already working on it, when you came to the office to see
And that's
about the
after I
building
talked to
permit?
Larry, yes. Yeah. Absolutely, we had a 3-day span to get her done. If you would like us to tear it up, we can swallow it. But it's not like that we haven't tried or sneak anything around anyone. All we're really trying to do is bring a few jobs to town, have some fun for the people in this town. Other towns, maybe bring some other people into this town. Maybe it's not the right thing to do.
We mentioned this at the zoning board, and we'll just bring it up here just for your information. But we have already purchased the barriers for a track. We have the go-karts, excuse me, and that's irregardless of using this pad. We're using it on-site other places, so that's we're gonna use go-karts, excuse me,
No matter what.
no matter what. It just won't be there.
Yeah.
You know. So
We're not out a whole lot.
We got the track, and it's a mobile track. It'd be cool to set it up there and see what it looks like, but.
Absolutely.
But if we can't run go-karts, then that's the direction we wanna go. But we're gonna be an owner of a track, and it's a mobile track, just the crash barriers. We're gonna have it on Lewis and Clark days, Main Street, mobile.
I guess,
go ahead. I went looking for a little precedent on the situation, so I spent a few hours between yesterday and today looking for an example of somewhere where this might take place, and I really couldn't find anywhere, so I called the director of Bismarck Planning and Zoning, a lady by the name of Kim Lee, is originally from Riverdale. And I gave her all the information that we had in the scenario, described the scenario to her, and she said, basically, based on principle, that this sort of thing would, it's highly unlikely that this sort of thing would ever be approved in their city limits, just because it's only 25 or 30 feet from a residential area.
Because it's only what, I'm sorry,
Just because it's, you know, only 25 or 30 feet away from
Oh, I
somebody's
see,
backyard. It just on principle, it'd be highly unlikely that something like that would be allowed.
Okay.
So I don't, going forward, I do think we need some more information, but I personally don't think it's just not the right spot for it.
Okay. You know, what I was gonna say is, I think we really need to, you know, we need to see these things, we need to hear them. And I don't think we should make a decision right now. I think we need to get more information.
Well, and I think we just need to make sure that we're following the steps, you know.
Right.
And
I
then
want to
also,
hear the machines. I want to go
Yeah,
listen to them. I want to
I think
listen
it's-
to a bunch of them.
Well, do you guys have
run.
time tonight, after the meeting? The rest of you residents that are live up
absolutely.
there, would you have time to?
My only concern would be there are a couple residents that weren't able to be here tonight that have property adjacent to,
And that's-
Go-Kart track. So, just so you know, like, we would not, I wouldn't.
You're speaking for yourselves.
Right. we'd be
I
speaking
understand
for
that, but,
ourselves.
but I want you guys, I would really like you guys to go up there and listen to them,
and
because they're,
then these won't have the silencers on there.
No, not right now,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, but they're still.
so have you guys ever been to Raging
Yeah.
Rivers in Mandan?
No.
Yes, I have.
No, but I've been to like, with the state fair where they run them.
Where they run them, they're basically the same, they're probably even got less power than what them things do, you know? But, I mean, I understand it, yes.
Can I just?
Sure.
My property isn't directly adjacent to yours, and so this more has to do with, it doesn't impact me as much as them. But understand that you can tell us today that that's how it's going to be. I appreciate a barrier fence and that sound goes up, dissipates. You're gonna just do this, and we all know how acoustics work. It's going to absorb some, but a lot's gonna go up, okay?
Some's got to.
You can say you're gonna run from new, but there's no guarantee that if business is really good, you're gonna hold to that. And I, like I said, again, I'm down the street, so I don't have the impact near as what these people do, but I have those same concerns. The other thing is I just wanna ask you, Bill, your sister lived in that house that Winters lived in, and your mom lived in the house that Getz has lived in. Would you have their blessing today to do this if they were still living there? And you don't have to answer. That's just a question I
You
want
gotta
to ask.
understand where how they were raised to, and they were raised with racism.
Okay, well, I'm
All
just
of us
saying,
were,
if
so,
it was, if your sister lived there today, would she say, I am all for this, or I support this 100%, that this is not going to impact me, or the quality of my grandkids being here, whatever? That's all I'm asking. And I'm
Yeah, I
not
believe she
opposed
would.
to.
I
Okay.
believe she would.
I'm afraid if she would, but I think she's
She
the
would
minority.
see that it'd be good for the kids,
Okay.
when they're growing up, even us older kids.
Okay. And then, one other thing, I know this came up at the planning meeting the other day too, that whole interpretation of what that says for that area, that zoning. Could we maybe ask the legal opinion of don't we retain an attorney? Let them tell us what it says, then that question is answered. And then you can go from there, because it's, well, I think this is what it says, and I think this is what it says. Let's know what it says, and then make a decision. That's,
Very good, that's a good idea.
Then you'd have to have a couple attorneys rated, because it can be interpreted two different ways, just like it has been.
But I would assume our city attorney would be the one to go to.
Right.
He probably wrote it.
Yeah.
Or that hand is writing it, so.
Where's that?
A lot of this is taken from another town.
Because it says 2013.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, I understand.
I have nothing to do with this really, but I guess what I'd like, okay, say 5 years, 6, 7 years down the road, this is not gonna go anymore. So then what are you gonna do with that fence and everything that's there? And then I guess another thing I was going to ask is, why does it have to be in town here? Can't you guys have something like this out of town?
We own the land already.
But that's the only reason you want to have something that's going to be noise making for people? I mean, I guess I would have an issue with it too if I lived there and stuff, but I just think if you're going to have go-karts, that's going to be zooming around for many hours a day. I would think you'd rather purchase some land out of town instead of having it in town. Don't you do stuff like that? I mean, I don't know, I have a question.
We actually had the thoughts of maybe doing something good with Washburn. Doing it outside of town is not gonna affect any business in town.
Well, this is what affecting people in town, but.
You guys are gonna have to speak up if you're gonna talk, because we're recording everything so you can hear, so.
And it's not gonna do any good out of town. But they're thinking that this is gonna be there every day. Next year, this will rarely be there we'll make more money elsewhere, by far with them, the county fairs. We're already booked half this year already, they just got them.
Okay.
So people are, in all honesty, they're making a bigger thing out of really nothing.
Okay, for the sake of moving on.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a comment on this?
I have one last thing.
Go ahead, absolutely.
I need to apologize to Commissioner Thomas for something I said.
That's right.
I forgot about it. Kind of heated the moment.
I understand.
It's been a very stressful week, so, it was uncalled for. It was full of help, so I'm sorry, Larry.
That's right.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
So is our plan to go there tonight or another night, or what is our plan?
You're more than welcome anytime.
I think,
Wait.
what do you guys think?
And we just wanna make sure that due process is followed, that if this is gonna go forward, there's a conditional use permit applied for, and that the zoning and planning rules are followed. And then if it goes through that and it comes to the commission and that's what's approved, then that's what we're gonna have to live with. But we just wanna make sure that due process is followed.
Okay, that's probably good advice, because if they set the parameters up, that's what we need to deal with.
I also think the other neighbors need to be notified and involved as well.
We'd really like to have everybody there. I mean, it's a wide area. Land titles across the street, they're gone for what, 10 days?
I'm sure get them set up, all they.
So our biggest concern, we want to make sure that due process is followed.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, we're not gonna make a decision tonight, we wanna get a lot more information.
It's not
You
done.
know,
It's not done.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
for your time. Thanks.
Okay, does anybody else have a comment on that? Anybody?
Nope, we're good, thanks.
All right. Thank you. So are we gonna go there tonight, or are we gonna do a different?